be testing something. See how my voice sounds. Make sure it's loud enough. Yeah, it seems okay. Damn it, no. I love the music and opening game. In the opening. The Bane deal a large amount of arcane damage. I mean, I might be screwed when I go up against them. Close inspection. A series of symbols carved in the base around the structure come into view. One symbol pulses with a blue-white glow. The pattern resembles the glowing lines of light seen on the floor of the Ascension Hall, moments before you found yourself transported above the clouds. You stare at the symbol, the chill wind abates, and your chest swells with warmth. The air finally feels welcoming. Your lungs sated at last. You stake your claim on the tower and everything in it. Whatever that sculpture is, it belongs to you. I can feel power running through this place. Apes raised shining, her gaze sweeping to the object in the center. You can sense the magic of the spire even from down below, but up here, as close to the axis of the spire, the deluge of energy is numbing. Feel dizzy. Do you feel dizzy? What is this thing? The surface of the stone edifice trembles at your words. For a brief moment, the solid rock undulates, the same motion as a quiet pond rippled by rain. An echo bounces back from afar, your voice distorted and unfamiliar. Is this thing? Your voice. For a moment, it sounded like a song. Sculpture still once again. There's a rush warmth through your body, a jolt of innervation that steadies your balance. A barrage of tactical sensations floods your mind as you feel footsteps and wind, but not on your face or your limbs. A moment later, the flood of information begins to make sense. You're feeling the wind against the spire, even the weight of your own feet, as if the spire were a second spine. Was connection made? You feel your awareness pulled from this place, not as a traveler, but as one glimpsing the world from impossibly far away. In this moment, there's nothing you cannot see. Though you see it nearly all at once in a flood of sensation. It's difficult to parse. You see a spire at the crossing of ancient stone structure, two walls extending off in the distance. At the base of this internal spire, settlers and merchants act in every way unconcerned, toiling under the observation of unforgiving taskmasters. The shadow stone of the spire falls over them. Mood changes. I was just reading something out loud. Hmm. I wanted to check something. Check this tower. Go ahead and head back down. Head down to the hall, see if there's anything there. Down to the well. I'm gonna head to that crossing area first. They were functionally abandoned centuries ago. This unsettled gap of sovereign power became the home of the mages of the School of Ink and Quill. White Fortress, the Valiant Citadel. Prior to Kara's conquest of the Tears, the sages declared political neutrality and committed themselves to the collection and dissemination of knowledge. In reality, the sages hoarded their wisdom and manipulated other realms with cycles of war for centuries. This all came to a dramatic end with Kara's edict of fire, brought forth volcano eruptions, turned the contested lands into burning ash, strewn wasteland. See, one over there that I assume we would be able to get to eventually. On the Blade Grave, we'll go to the Sunset Spire. The crossing. Off we go. Alright, members of the Bronze Brotherhood are blocking the road to the Westlands Crossing. My name is Welby, first act for the Bronze Brotherhood, though I'm not sure that title matters anymore. Never mind, you needn't be burdened with my problems. I appreciate you coming to me before speaking to Redamon. You'll need to be careful. He has of late been acting out of sorts, and any perceived slight can become a problem for the one who offends him. I chose to speak to the first act before speaking to the actual first brother, the bodyguard before the leader. How could this mean anything but collusion and treason? I know I speak out of turn, but I only wish to warn you. true, in recent years we have been a little more stationary than your typical crew. It doesn't change the fact that our services can be purchased if the price is right. Voices made an offer to assure cooperation, and we took it. If I had known Kairos would try to have us thrown out of our home afterwards, well, I probably would have still taken the rings, but I would have been a little more prepared for the inevitable conflict. What do you think happened to him? The manner of his behavior is endangering the Brotherhood. They must be stopped before we are destroyed. Few people will be hurt far more than a simple tool. He's over there searching corpses, looking for information I know he's not going to find. He ambushed a patrol. He's going to anger an Archon. For what, his pride? How would you run the Brotherhood? I wouldn't waste time and research with petty vendettas. Not much I can tell you. I like battles and I like rings, and with the Brotherhood we used to get both regularly. Now all we have is fear, suspicion, and blood. I want the disciplined regiment back, and I intend to have it. True, acting like a child when you don't get what you want is not the behavior of a leader. Except in this case, the child is in control of an army capable of laying waste to his home. Be careful, Fatebinder. Go ahead and save here. Here's the fight banner. I knew we'd see you. I was just wondering when. What brings you out here when no one asked you to come? Our car is his dog ready to be put down again. I won't surrender the crossing no matter how many times you try to take it. We are hard to protect the city and will continue to do so. No one else will have it. Count, why you're here. I'm the leader of the Bronze Brotherhood. What did Welby have to say? Has she already started filling your mind with lies about me? She and I are going to have a chat soon. I can't have my first act countermanding me at every turn. I know she wants my position. Watch yourself while you're a guest in my land. If you have come to stir up more trouble, you're well equipped and it will not back down in the fence for hours. Yeah. Welby and I might not always agree, but there's one point we see eye to eye on. If you step out of line, we will both correct you. You are not welcome here. Tell me about the Bronze Brotherhood. Yeah, I think I'll try to gain favor with them. Sounds like you're upstanding citizens. Yes, we are, Fatebinder. I'm glad someone finally sees us for what we are. I'm tired of people calling us mercenaries and sellswords. Tell me about Welby. Why is it so important? What happened? Cards to eject us from our home. You said you don't want money from me, but that's why you're fighting over Lothian's crossing. This is a mere matter of principle. We performed a service and we are paid for that service. Don't try to glibly explain away a complex situation. This is our home. This is my home. I'll have it. No one else. Now if you all came here to do is insult me, if all you came here to do is insult me and mine, I would suggest you be leaving. What's so important about these bodies? They are undoubtedly scouts sent by Kairos to ascertain their defenses, and where one group is found, many others are sure to follow. We'll speak again soon. So I only hope that is the case. Here it is. You can retract. The force of Kairos will always be guards. We have a snake on our midst to arms.
Send me your champion!
Go ahead and just leave that. Or load that. See if I can talk to her again. Now as a class on salvage evidence since the Iron Marshal asked me to sign your protection. Hope those disagreements do not weigh too heavily against the request I'm about to make of you. What do you want? Yeah, I think I gained maximum fear with him. I hope that perhaps the adjudicator would hear my case. I can adjudicate cases in the Archon instead. Wait, what are you talking about? I've been encased in this. Shell since Iris Edict of Storms. You're old stalwart. It occurred in service to the overworld, and I would ask the overworld to free me of its burden. Are you more useful in your armor? Perhaps, but there are other armors. Tunon can't order Kairos to take your armor off. I have several daydreams that would take issue with your statement. I'm going to ask for the overworld to do it personally. The Forgebound Guild swore service to the adjudicator. If any way freedom from this carapace exists, it lies with them. I'd happily make your case to the Archon. Thank you, Fatebinder. Eagerly await the Archon's judgment. Trying to check my reputation. There we go. Yeah. No, I don't have maximum fear with him. I haven't reached maximum thing with a companion yet. Guard do not like me. Okay, I didn't think I'd click on the bodies.
At your service, Fatebinder. What do you need?
I already talked to her.
Salutations, Fatebinder. Or should I now call you Lord of Vendrian's Well? The Spire King? Prince of the suggestive vertical slab.
Fatebinder is fine. No need for other titles.
That is how I met you, so that's how it's gonna stick in my mind. So if I might ask, what is your plan now? The edict no longer looms overhead, and Kairos' conquest of the Tiers seems to be slipping. What with the armies and civil war.
I'm improvising. Any suggestions?
My first suggestion would be to build a boat. I have a second and more practical suggestion. Look to the horizon and slightly up. By that I mean the other spires. Not nearly enough, apparently. To me, they've always been axioms of navigation. We've long known the spires radiate strong magical fields, and all save the mountain spire connect to the old walls. So it's the sort of thing common folk know from afar, but I would counsel you to do just that. I'm sure the events of Vendrian's Well are best explained from your mouth to Tunon's ears. Furthermore, I'd guess the Archon of Justice would want to know your take on the Archons and their divide.
I will crush the remaining local opposition. Complete the conquest.
I see. I'm sure there's little I can do to persuade you otherwise. Just consider that the people of the Tiers will someday bow to Kairos. Why not have them bow to you instead?
My goal is to defeat the disfavored.
I've fought the disfavored and know all too well their skill and tenacity. Destroying the disfavored, though. Where to start? We could try to counsel with the enemy of our enemy. No doubt the voices of Nerat would be eager to destroy Graven Ash, but, well, short of Tunon giving you orders on pain of death, you have the luxury of acting on your own volition. Whatever you decide, I'm at your disposal.
Speak further.
What is it you need? Ask away.
Damn it.
We all know how to swim, and we all know...
centuries it has been our way that men own the ships, the women own the harbors. Customs don't truly prevent ownership, but they limit inheritance. Lands passed down, father, daughters and sisters and mothers and aunts. Ships passed to sons and brothers and fathers and uncles. Seems strange to outsiders, but it makes sense to me. Men are blessed with wanderlust, women with a sense of permanent. Likewise, the captain of a ship can't pause to carry a child, and the men grow restless if left in place. Why didn't the younger realms stand united against Kairos? Trying to rub it in? Yes, the younger realms were defeated at one time by the invaders. Maybe if I was the queen of the tears, that wouldn't have happened. That's what killed us. Haven wanted to watch the bastard Tyr fall first. Apex was hoping Haven would fall. Azura wanted Stalwart to be attacked first. Every realm of Tears had some interest in watching their neighbors fall first, so we all held back our support until a year or so into the war. Too fucking late by then. Squabbling idiots. What's that like? Change the subject. Were the major resistors to Kairos' rule?
Aside from the ones you slew, well, the Vendrian Guard were the most staunch opponents of Kairos. With their passing, the Overlord's rule is absolute. Was there a particular group you wish to discuss?
Tell me about the Unbroken.
The Unbroken is the name of the military of the now fallen realm of Stalwart. Every citizen of Stalwart was trained to fight, and all were expected to answer the rallying cry of the Regents. A decade ago, Stalwart was the ass end of jokes Tearsmen would tell each other. The people of Stalwart are obnoxiously proud of a long history of being invaded, but never losing. The disfavored put an end to their vaunted record of... The Unbroken still persist, albeit marginally so. The disfavored withdrew after the Edict of Storms began shredding the landscape. Their holdfast of Sentinel Stand Keep was never taken, and the citizen army, though scattered, could still be rallied. Kairos' war was disastrous to the human realm of Azure, but a stroke of good luck for the numerous beastmen that toiled in Azure's endless wheat fields. The Stonestalkers are a tribe born from these newly freed beasts. I imagine they would never bow to Kairos or the Archons. Too many Beastmen understand strength and leadership, but it's always in the concrete sense. I can't pretend to know how they think, but I could never imagine them accepting an absent Prima. A distant ruler they can't see or smell seems a bit too abstract. The Bronze Brotherhood is one of the most feared and famous of the Free City mercenary companies. Most of the Brotherhood perished in the war, but a handful, the crew hired to work at Lethian's Crossing. The band is too small to be a serious threat to the disfavored or the Chorus, but they are scourge-worshipping berserks that will adopt any enemy for the right. Several sages came to our aid during the Second Battle of Vendrian's Well. I at first thought they spoke of others in their guild braving the Edict of Fire to salvage lore from the burning library. Though I may find them untrustworthy, it must be... Historically speaking, an alliance with the School of Ink and Quill is just asking to have your efforts stolen and your goals undermined. Mark my words, some things never change. Whatever. If you want to ignore my advice...
The Younger Realms. Read this to myself. Change the subject. Change the subject again.
Ask away.
Can you tell me about the Archons and the Tier?
Not entirely sure. Which is to say, there was a time I studied my...
can be proud of that. Why the hostility? Hearken unto Strone, stored much thy hold dear, I'm glad he's dead. What do you know, Siren?
Ask away. I know a great deal of the mages of the Tears, or at least their history. Most are dead now. I know a little less about the guilds sworn to Kairos' arc.
Blood chanters. Tell me about the Forge Bound. School of the Ink and Quill. Let's see.
Ask away. My one concern with Barrick is that he's still loyal to Graven Ash and not to you. We should consider ourselves fortunate that one of the most deadly members of the Scarlet Furies considers you a suitable gang leader. That said, I think her involvement with you is entirely suspect. Probably the only word thief I haven't wanted to dismember. Him? Ask away. You know, I normally charge for this, but for you... Now, you know that's a very personal question. The knowledge I have is a centuries old.
I have great control. Let's see.
What is it you need? Ask away.
Tell me about your children. Change subject.
Sorry. Did you want more tears from your conquered slaves?
Change
Ask
subject.
away.
Talk something else.
What is it you need? I have a great deal of ambivalence regarding the Scarlet Chorus. Narad is worse than Kairos, yet many in the chorus were my countrymen. Most of them fighting because they will suffer worse indignities if they do not. So I must ask, what is your goal behind working with the voices of Narad? And that appeals to you? Well, you know this little club of miscreants better than I. If raw, unmitigated, I have a great deal of ambition, so I must ask. The disfavored have made a mockery of every army in the tiers. Even the unbroken could not best them. Against such a foe...
Absolutely not. I've come through the Iron Hall Trail more times than I can remember. No one ever asked for a toll before, and I won't be paying one now. Fatebinder, surely you of all people can help me. My name is Astrid. I must go to Lathan's Crossing. I have goods to deliver. Tell this man I will not be pay a toll to him, or anyone, and he is to let me through. And will of the Bronze Brotherhood. Iron Hall protection. Yeah. These funds help our cause and keep Iron Hall a safe place for all travelers. Clearly you both see value in that. Who exactly is keeping it safe? You, staying there with your weapons at the ready against me? Here's payment for the merchant to pass unharmed. Thank you, Fatebinder. You've done a great deal today. And you, Brute, move aside and let me pass. Of course. The merchant, do be sure to have some rings of your own for your trip back. I doubt your friends here will be around to pay your way through these lands twice. So, at Fatebinder, a little corner of the world, who would ever have thought this would happen? I appreciate your help dealing with that merchant. I'm afraid I can't let you pass until you've spoken with our leader, Redhaman. Not that there's a shortage of those out here. We'll serve what the Brotherhood do for you, Fatebinder. Don't ask me to let you through, because that isn't happening. Someone has made the mistake of giving this little man too much power. You're about to discover that happens when you stand in my way. If you think you can get him to move, do it. It's a pleasure. Hey shitmeat, do you plan on moving your ass this century? Or do we have to stand here jawing like a bunch of graybeards? We're on a mission. Staring at your ugly mug and catching you up on the past won't get any faster. Are you going to move on? I need to start cutting, because I'm partial to either option. I would help you, but my boss told me to guard this bridge. No one gets by without his permission. Ah, shit. I want to try to gain favor with them. That means I have to fucking skip through all that one-on-one's dialogue again.
Fatebinder, I'm a little busy right. What can I do for you?
Salutations, Fatebinder. So if I might ask, what I would counsel you to do just that. I have a second and more... We've long known the Spires... We could try to counsel with the enemy of our enemy. I see. I'm sure. Well, sure. Whatever you decide, I'm at your disposal. Understood. I was once your enemy. I know my place. What is it you need? I have a great deal, so I must ask. What? The disfavored have made a mockery of every arm. Ask away. You know, I normally charge for... Now... What is it you need? Ask away. Ask away. We all know how to swim. Was there a particular group you... The Unbroken Kyra... The Beastmen understand... The band is too small. So, historically speaking, in alliance with the school... They spoke of other... Historically speaking, in alliance... Well, perhaps we can shut... Ask away. Not entirely sure. Ask away. I know a great deal. Ask away. My one... Ask away. What is it you need? Ask away.
At your service, Fatebinder. What do you need?
Okay, I'm gonna save this. Save you, bastard. Thanks, but I can handle this myself. You don't feel like paying the toll. I can point you back the way you came if you need an idea of where to go. So my station means nothing. Out in the middle of nowhere, no. I will speak with Rudman. I'm counting the seconds until you return. Still around, Fatebinder? Need to get to the crossing. If I let you through, you must promise to behave. I have enough problems dealing with everyone else. I don't need the hassle of keeping an eye on you too. Watch yourself. This is my city, and I have eyes everywhere. You may enter their crossing. Not sure why. First brother here has a full complement of oarsmen. His henchman is all 5-6 paces away. Why the theatrics? See you soon. I hope that isn't the case. There's something up here. I want to see what it is. I think your lowest deal was available to the highest bidder, but I never guessed it extended into treachery. It's a shame. I would love to see if your money spent differently than anyone else's. Tyranny, you see a broad placid lake fed by a river flowing in the north. A handful of fishing boats dot the surface, and the songs of envious amphibians linger on the cool breeze. A small pack of flightless birds wait in the shallows, plucking crayfish from the muck. As the fishermen move on, explore the area. Setting down your heaviest gear, you take some time to investigate the area. You locate a broad, dry outcropping over the water. Might make an ideal campsite. From your high vantage, you make out the huge flock of flightless picking through the shallows. Finally, you notice what looks like a dark recess under a pile of leaning rocks to the east that suggests the presence of a cave. Enter the cave. You take a deep breath and dive beneath the surface, making your way through the water. As you swim along, you realize the falls are falling away from you as the pass opens into a true cavern. You carefully break the surface and find yourself in a cave dimly lit by thousands of bluish-green stars, bioluminescent fungi. Hearing the sound of cloth shifting a stone, you see another brave traveler in the depths, an aged fisherman in tattered clothes. Make your way to him, and he offers to lend you one of his spears if you'll only stop disrupting the water. Fish with the old man. Climb into the stone next to the old man. As the water is still, you see it fill with glowing voids move between the water, beneath the water. Find a pair that move together. The old man catches you, and aim for the space between. Following his advice, you're able to spear several of the semi-luminescent fish, long pale creatures with overlapping carpet plates. Securing enough fish for a meal for two, you bid the old man farewell and return to the surface. Clay creatures pale. Prime carpet plates cook easily enough, though their rubbery texture seems an acquired taste. You find that their luminescent bulbs can be safe, however, and may be useful in alchemical compounds. End encounter. Gotta investigate that tower. Get it, Krasner? Point. You stabbed me, you bastard. I'm not harassing you. All I want is what you owe me. I'm enforcing the Archon of Justice. Once invoked, my ruling is final. Are you sure this is what you want? Tiny Scraps just crying about. If you want, we can settle the fight with. Fine by me. I won't have to resort to violence to prove my point. I know you're gonna rule in my favor anyway, so yeah, I agree. Tell me your side of the story. Felon hired me to talk to some other merchants into leaving town. I did what he asked, but now he won't pay up. What happened with the merchants? The merchants around here aren't going to back down just because one soldier says a bunch of mean words to him. I figured I'd snake him down for rings, convince him it'd be cheaper to leave. What did the merchants pay up? A few made rings, yeah. Once I vetted all of them, I came back to collect the pay as promised. He said he wouldn't pay me, and then he just stabbed me. Was it a one-time job or something ongoing? Just the one time, drinking money, you understand, but the brother wouldn't approve of me freelancing for some merchant. I figured it wouldn't hurt to do that just once. Tell me your version of what you had Krasner do. Business has been down on account of all the other merchants around here. I asked Krasner to have a word with some of them, maybe get them to leave town or stop competing with me on price. Not only did Krasner not do what I asked, but it got back to me that he shook down some of the other merchants for rings. It's not what I hired him for. Something simple. He comes to access the jobs done even though there's no results and he demands his pay. I tell him no. Ready to pronounce my decision. Well, I think it's pretty obvious to everyone that I'm the one in the right. I did not get what I hired him for, so he doesn't deserve any more money, especially from me. Shut up, fella. Not just because your competitors can't be intimidated doesn't mean you get out of paying me for the job. Deserve payment for the work I did. find you both guilty of intimidation and extortion. Felton, you're banned from selling anything in the Leviathan's Crossing. Castner, report to your superior to be punished according to the Brotherhood laws. You gain favor with Tunon. What? Oh, damn it all, fucking Krasner. You screwed us both. Tunon, gain average favor. Neither of us fools deserve the ill-gotten gains. This is for the best. Actually, I kind of wish I had chosen something else. You're a person. You're just a raider. I want to see what's up here. Reagan, welcome. That'd be me. I don't want to buy anything right now. I might later. I'll come up here. Seems like there's something I can get over here, so I'll try to see what that is. See what she has to say. No, don't want to do that. Either tonight or tomorrow I'll be playing. I'll do a goddamn Stardew Valley stream. There we go. Good day to you. But that's it. She was gonna say something. I'm gonna make a separate save out here.
Sorry, I can't.
And actually, I'm gonna go see what's over here. Let's see. realized I was I'm looking at ways to get Tunon's favor, but damn it. Oh, I should have immediately. Maybe I should have went to the. Hmm. I'm having fun just streaming this game on my own. Welcome, friend. Show me what you have. I'm gonna stick with my light armor. I think I'm good for now. Evander. Now that you're here, we can settle this shit. Why do we need a fate binder for this? It's such a trivial matter. Trivial. We were almost killed. Tell me what's going on. Felix sent me and Myris to the old walls for materials. Now I know the old walls are dangerous, but Felix said he had good authority that there was no danger. Felix is going to make an axe for each of us in return. I couldn't pass it up. Hey, forge-bound matches is just as dangerous, you know. It's not my fault that the most reliable, stable materials haven't been found near the old walls. Besides, those axes you were getting in payment were exceptional compensation for the task. Tell me your side of things. I'm not one of this favorites, so I know getting my hands on genuine forge-bound items is damn hard. Naturally, I jumped at the chance to do so. Do the job for Felix. I mean, it was just gathering materials. I didn't expect to find Bane all over the damn place. Luckily, I've dealt with Bane before, and was able to fight my way out. Did you go inside? Yes, only for a moment to look around. And right back out. Couldn't have been more than a minute. You've done this sort of job before? Yes, I've done similar jobs. It's the first one that's taken me anywhere near the old walls, though. Figured Felix knew what he was about, though, or that he'd gotten the go-ahead from his master. How did you get involved in this? I've known Felix since before the conquest. When he told me about the job, I agreed to do it, no questions asked. Were you ever in danger on any previous jobs? No, not really. A few wild animal encounters, but nothing like this. Sort of, but I wasn't planning to go inside, just near enough to get materials Felix needed. You sent these two near the old walls? Best materials I found near the old walls. Good materials hard to come by. There's no way I could do it all by myself. I never get any forging done, and my master is very particular about meeting production quotas. Have you seen anyone else to the old walls before? Well, I've never ordered anyone to go inside. They might have, but I have no way of knowing for sure, you see. As one of the forge-bound, you're aware of the old walls are off limits to everyone? Yes, of course, Finder, but surely there's some room for flexibility in the law. After all, I'm sure Kairos would want us to produce only the best arms and armor for his armies. Felix, you're guilty of circumventing Kairos' law. Your behavior is unbecoming of one of the forge-bound, and you're hereby stripped of your status. Report this to your master. But I was just... He bows his head and slowly walks away. Ooh, gain fear with her. Mostly got loyalty with her. Jet.
Sorry, I can't.
What's in here anyway? Hmm. Hmm. No, Eldian is not my father. Maybe you haven't heard, but my grandmother wasn't exactly the settling down type. What's your opinion on the Bronze Brotherhood? Thank you for your time. Anytime if you need anything, just let me know.
Sorry.
Time to leave. Kinda wish I had played Stardew Valley. Hmm. What's up in this building? Hmm. Head up here, see what's up here. I'll take some cheese. Oh, that's what I already got. Get this way now.
What is it you need?
You look as if you have something on your mind. By all means. What can I do for you?
one save outside of here.
Ah, got it.
Interesting rune. Take charcoal rubbing. Okay, with enough collected imprints, it may be possible to reconstruct the original shape of the rune.
Found something. Sorry, I can't.
My mother always told me to stay away from spires. Not that I ever listened. At your service, Fatebinder. What do you need?
Intricate rune running along the floor, it only means one thing. You stand at the feet of a great spire. Each step you take echoes across the great distance. In blackness. Faint echo of the energy that enveloped you at Vendor's well. You feel a slight tug at your chest.
Okay. Any bets on which sigil unleashes more scourges?
Oh no, save game. Oh, that's like a reset? Okay, it says it's incomplete, but I've been everywhere else. Try going back, see if there's anything I missed. I wonder what those are supposed to be. They don't have an interaction option. war mace. If we can get over here.
I got it. Right.
I think I'm supposed to make a circle.
Will do. I got it.
Not the picture? That looks like the thing in the picture. Okay, I'm just gonna look this up. Apparently I am not getting something. I don't have all the name. Okay, that's how it's supposed to be set at. Okay, you know,
Will do.
let everybody move over here and I'll just choose him.
On it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just save it. In case there's a boss battle up there or something. Your awareness stretches beyond the limits of the spire, pulling in every direction at once. The light you saw arcing through the sky reminds you of the tether that you felt at the top of Vengeance. Well, this too is a point of connection, and you're an inextricable part of it. Bound as surely as the spires are to each other. Since spiral alliance crossing feels burdened by its age, central linchpin somewhere in its core has weathered centuries of oppressive weight, longs to topple. The surge of energy that courses through you, forming a link with Vengeance well, strengthens the very stones beneath her feet. Structural weakness as you detect vanishes, replaced by confidence that could keep this tower standing for millennia. See, 2000's Ardent, where I was born. Then over to the right of that is where the Academy of Tides used to stand, and you can see that little island off Barris in chains. That's where Hagravart would take me to practice our more dangerous spells. My childhood seen us from above. This is surreal. If I threw a dagger from here, I wager I could split a man on the ground in half. Damn, I want to try. From here, even the old walls seem paltry. This sovereign view is not intended for the likes of us. Spire feels like a relay between you and Vengeance well, bridging some transference of energy on an enormous scale. You are the first link of a chain that stretches length of the realm. As you struggle to understand the sensation, you grow aware of whispers all around you. Listen closer. Whispers themselves seem to travel down the tether between you and your spires, conducting the heat that feels at times unbearable. They speak of your actions, your choices, everything that led you to this place. Your name is known, your banner recognized, your deeds reported across the tiers in the northern empires alike. For an instant, you see the accumulated hope or fears of those whispers present. It appears like dewdrops settling on a leaf and trickling into a shared basin. This image is fed to you through your connection, a base metaphor that only hints at true scope. There is power in these stones. The source is unfamiliar. Were you to harness it, you suspect nothing would stand beyond your reach. Unlocking the spire seems to have opened a deeper connection. Don't know what you've done, but standing near you warms my rusted plates. Makes me feel lighter somehow. On the moments my staff and I are separated, part of its magic goes dormant, and I'm once again near. The same dynamic is happening with you and the spires. They've adopted you, I guess. They certainly like you enough not to kick you out of bed. You look taller somehow, like you can command a dozen gangs without any challengers to knife you in the back. What do you mean I don't have any bronze? Oh. Damn it. So if I had all of those, I could, and possibly rebelled, I could possibly become an overlord, but I'm going to stay loyal to Kairos this time. And the voices of Narat. My dear Jesse, the court is abuzz with the news of the Civil War. A representative from the chorus and the sphere are having little shouting matches in front of Tunon. The petitioners to the court seem swept up in talks of who will crush whom and when Tunon will bring the guard and gavel front the other. What has me more intrigued is the other story of Veteran's Well. Tunon sends you what I thought was going to be a one-way trip to the well. And not only do you live, you somehow claim the mountain spire. And you broke Kairos' edict too. Such things make a little civil war seem trivial in comparison. At least to those who can separate the message from the noise. Tell me, what was it like to break the edict, and how is it you took control of the spire? Explain the experience as best you can. Dear Regulus, Kairos' edict simply said that an agent of the Overlord must claim the Ascension Hall before Kairos' Day of Swords. The only thing I consciously did was take charge of the battle to claim the Ascension Hall. My claiming of the spires happened just moments after I felt the edict's grip release. The floor of the Ascension Hall gave way, and unearthing a glowing pattern beneath the chamber floor. Kairos only knows how long it's been buried into the tile. So how I actually claimed the spire is perhaps a mutual bond, as the top of the spire is an old structure, a twin-tined edifice. I'll include a sketch in the back of the parchment. The structure spoke to me in sensations and images. It seems to respond to my presence in some limited capacity. This is what happened, as best I can think to describe it. Does any of this sound familiar, or bring to mind any old stories or rumors? One day remaining. Back to that crossing. Head to the court. I need to get some gold rings. Well, bronze rings, so I can build a library at that one place. Let's keep on going. For a little bit longer. Oh, greetings. Andre Lucius, formerly of Thistleholm. You have the look of someone who belongs here, a fate binder, no doubt. What are all these nobles doing in Tunan's court? Trying to look brave and weren't with you. Let's see. The year since Tunan set up shop in the bastard city. We're still getting used to our new masters and figuring out what we can and can't ask of them. Our armies claim the city in a quieter, more organized manner than I would have expected. I can credit them that much to be sure. The outlying villages and farms are a little sparse. Well, with the Scarlet Chorus harvesting for new soldiers, Tunan has done a fair job of managing food shortages. Thanks to Chorus infiltrators, most of our officers were put to the sword, but we surrendered. The chaos made the takeover so easy for Kairos' forces, but controlling the city without any leaders to bend the knee was harder work. We suffered our share of hardship, but it seems that Kairos wants us alive. My manor was destroyed during the conquest. I told the adjudicator my woes, but we didn't exactly see it eye to eye. Tell me of yourself. Dad of a noble house, we were wealthy enough to live in the city, but our means beyond that were limited. My mother dealt in fish, textiles, and bronze. By the time I inherited, the business was taking care of itself. Agents off in the wood. We gave him whole. What happened? Collateral damage. When the adjudicator cast his judgment on the bastard city, he destroyed the districts of corrupt merchant kings, their manors, their counting houses, and yes, their warehouses. Age, dignified Thistleholm, collapsed as a massive sinkhole opened at her foundation. Ugh. What are you going to do next? That's the question, isn't it? I appealed to the adjudicator, thinking he would see reason. After considering my case for all of 8 seconds, he ordered me a belt of rings and a plot of land on the outskirts of the city. Tunan's word is Carlos's law, whether you think it fair or not. Now I know it. Meaning no respect to your office, I never questioned the power in Tunan's word. Maybe Tunan knows something I don't, or maybe... What do you mean? People come here for justice. They usually get a version of it, but it's Tunan's version, not theirs. Half the time they don't even get what they wanted out of their own favor. The deed to a farm, for instance. Not to put my own ignorance on display, but if more people knew how Kairos' laws worked, they might not come here seeking a ruling at all, or even a fair one. Tunan is a servant of law, but he's an overlord vassal as much as any overlord's vassal as much as any of us. Sometimes it seems like he uses his position to twist everything in the Empire's favor. We're just pieces on a board. He can move us wherever the law justifies we stand. That doesn't sound, well, legal. Tunan isn't one to change his mind. Unfair as it might seem, the ruling stands. Gain average favor. no thought to dispute the ruling, but I appreciate your kindness of your tone all the same. It's an uncommon thing to find in the bastard city these days. Farewell, Fatebinder.
You call yourselves officers of Kairos' army, but your conduct falls short of my expectations. The court finds your accounts of Vendrian's well lacking, rife with misdirection and fallacy, fouled with baseless accusation.
Your Honor, for only the events that I experienced them, you can well imagine why my version conflicts with his. On my honor and that of that great general, I would sooner snap my sword than perjure myself before you, Archon. You simply that falsehood much comes easier to my lips than yours. You're a fool if you believe the Archon of Justice won't see through your lies because its favored thinks themselves better than an honest gang.
Silence. The contradictions in your statements will be examined, and falsities threshed from truths. If we find you have perjured yourselves, Bled and Mark will see to your fate. Fatebinder, we will start with the matter of the Archons. Graven Ash and the Voices of Nerat have declared war upon each other. In addition to violating Kairos' peace, they have thrown the conquest of the Tears into disarray. By all accounts, these hostilities began shortly after your arrival. Tell us what transpired.
The Archons cannot agree on who should lead the siege and descended into accusations of treachery, seeing a mutual spat. Favored were more deserving of the honor. Our tactics and training outmatched their Vendrian guard at every turn. What balderdash this favor didn't cut into a straw if they had a week to strategize. Our howling mob was better equipped to overwhelm the Vendrian guard. Our recruits were ready to throw themselves at the enemy, if only Ash and his legion would agree to a plan.
The Fatebinder presents testimony. I warn you both against speaking out of turn. Something more than a mere disagreement unraveled this campaign. But I will return to that in... Let us speak of Ascension Hall. From all accounts, it would seem you were instrumental in its capture, or so the petitioner of the Scarlet Chorus testifies. The disfavored commander has a dimmer view of the matter. Lend me your perspective.
I joined the Scarlet Chorus. We took the Citadel with an unstoppable advance.
The edict meant certain doom if the siege failed. So why, when your survival depended on it, did you join your strength to the Scarlet Chorus and not the elite disfavored?
The Voices in the Rat was willing to win the Citadel at any cost. Ash values his army more than his duty to Kairos. For a long while, the agitator hovers in silence, shadows trailing from below his robes.
I will consider this testimony at length. The court thanks you for
Told
it.
you all I know.
Your testimony is accepted by the court. The statements of our guests raise questions in my mind. There is much about this campaign that has caused me to wonder. A shipment of iron weapons was short on arrival. Where coveted iron is concerned, I don't believe it to be a clerical error. One of my agents recovered this seal in Echo Call. It belongs to a merchant collective. Lethian's Crossing is teeming with their kind. If you would root out treachery, I would advise starting there.
Oh, I should have come here right away, because then I would have had to go to the crossing anyway. Oh, why didn't I come here first?
Petitioners, leave us. I would have a private audience with the Fatebinder.
God damn it, why didn't I come here
Ascend
first?
and join me. You will find the way opened. This civil war, this feud, is an insult to Kairos' peace. It should not have taken the better part of a year to silence the last vestiges of the Oathbreakers.
I agree, Your Honor.
Our allies squabble while our enemies regroup. It falls upon the court to measure the extent of the damage, and to execute the agents of disorder. I suspect that treachery, negligence, disunity, and greed have infected one or both of our esteemed allies. Until you are instructed otherwise, this matter is the court's primary focus.
Yeah, damn, I wish I'd come here straight away if I know I was going to the damn crossing anyway.
Graven Ash and the voices of Nerat must be examined in close detail. You are charged with observing the Archons and presenting your case that one of them has wrought chaos and disorder upon the Tiers.
Could they both be guilty?
It's possible, but the momentum of the conquest up to this point suggests otherwise. The failure at Vendrian's Well implies a coordinated will behind the chaos. As always, you will be held accountable for what you do in the court's name. But you are free to conduct your investigation. They say the voices of Nerat holds you in higher regard than most. Use this alliance to enter his confidence. It seems unlikely the Archon of Secrets is more honest with friends than with rivals. But to his friends, he has been known to divulge much. The disfavored will likely be less cooperative with your investigation. They will no doubt assume Graven Ash's honor is beyond reproach, which is all the more reason to scrutinize the Archon of War closely. And if the ironclad forces discourage your inquiry, your fellow Fatebinders have been busy acting as my eyes and ears. I have a few leads for you to follow. There is a final matter to discuss. A sensitive
Court, Your
topic.
Honor.
In spite of the many shortcomings at Vendrian's Well, you managed to make a name for yourself. You proclaimed an edict of any one of these feats would be worthy of recognition by the highest authority. You managed to accomplish 3.
I was only doing my job, Your Honor.
Your sense of obligation to your role is admirable. But modesty, whether by design or by accident, you have captured the attention of Kairos' army and the local Tiersmen alike. You have a title in our hierarchy. However, it's a little-known secret that one's standing in the world is determined by their infamy, their deeds, and how they come to be known. Mind this notion. Whatever you did to capture the attention of the masses at Vendrian's Well, I would encourage you to do so again.
Damn, I wish I'd fucking done that after. God damn it, why didn't I come here first?
Good. It falls to us to set a new standard. You are dismissed. Should the court have need of your presence, you will receive word. Go for...
Seeing a note resonating throughout the hall. Farewell for now. pull in hand, you roll him over a spring sheet of parchment. You have binder Morris's contact information at hand. Contemplate your opening words. I don't have no goddamn 500 rings. Play introduction. Dear Fatebinder Marthas, I write to you at the urging of my peer and tutor, Fatebinder Regulus. He has found himself bereft of answers, a rare condition for him. In suggestion, you may be the only source of information I seek. Pardon the imposition, it would mean a great deal to learn what you know of the Icarus' edicts and the magic of the spires. The mountain spire of the Tiras has awoken to my presence. An event that just occurred moments after I resolved an edict to Kairos, so it's critical that I learn what just happened to me, what it all means. I'm gonna go ahead and save it for now. And end my stream because I have to start getting ready for work. I give a host to Crazy Tracy, who's playing Flippin' Houses.